Hello everyone! Dear subscribers, today in the video, I, Sheriff Labrador, and Dobie will be escaping from the chubby policeman. I'll let you in on a secret. Last night, I was jumping on his belly like it was a trampoline.
Yes, guys. Hello, everyone. This ventilation is so stinky, it's never been cleaned. Hey, Labrador, why don't you call me Sheriff? I'm your partner, after all.
You haven't earned it yet. You're a coward. You're even scared to complete this girly map. Where did these lasers come from? Who put them here anyway, the dumb creators?
You're the coward. The next episode will be on the scariest map in Roblox. Let's see who the real coward is. Don't forget to wear a diaper and call your mommy.
Okay, let's calm down. We need to get through this minefield. It's not just your butt that could get blown up. These mines look just like the subscribe button. So don't forget to hit it and ring the bell, dear friends.
Careful, Sheriff Labrador. There's that belly guy you were jumping on like a trampoline. Don't let him see you.
Ha ha ha. Dobie, you're scared of everything again. What's he gonna do to us, fart in our faces? Watch and learn how to escape. I used to run away from the principal like this when I broke a window with a soccer ball in school. Ah, those were the days. Not like now. Dobie, remember when your backpack got flushed down the toilet?
It was a belly kid just like the one chasing us now. Where do we run next? It's really high, and there are lots of lasers. Do you know the way?
This really reminds me of the school bathroom, Dobie. Let's look for your backpack. Ha 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 ha. I wonder how that belly guy uses the bathroom. He wouldn't be able to get through these lasers.
Look, Sheriff Labrador, there's a shovel over there. Grab it and clean up after the prison warden, nicknamed Belly. Look, there's a hole dug in this stall. Let's use our dog instincts. Just make sure not to dig like this in Minecraft.
The main thing is that we don't fall into lava. Ah, we're lucky. Let's look for diamonds here.
Whoa, there's a parkour section here. You've been a pro at this since school. I bet if you fall, I won't be sheriff anymore. Ah, it's super easy. It doesn't count. Look, these are old wooden planks. They might break under your feet, so be careful.
Whoa, did you see that? Not that I doubted myself. Look at that gigantic skull. It probably belonged to the belly policeman's mom. Ha ha ha! Now let's go find his dad.
Let's do that later. We should hurry. Just make sure not to get impaled on a spike. There are so many traps here. Ah, a giant boulder is rolling towards us. Let's go back. Why is there a tunnel like this? Come on, hurry up. I feel uneasy.
You're getting nervous again. Calm down, Dobie. You should have worried about the underwear you forgot to wear when we swam with the whole class in the school pool. Ha ha ha. Look, there's a guard over there. Judging by the smell, he's been sitting in this unventilated room for ages, farting.
Oh no, he's gonna catch us. See, I told you this would happen.
Enough whining, Dobie. Everything's fine. We haven't lost anything. The gates are open. We just need to pass by the guard. Just make sure not to fall into a trap. Let me tell you a truly scary story. Once I was patrolling a small neighborhood on the edge of the city. It was usually quiet there, but not that night. There wasn't a single star in the sky, and the moon was blood red. As I drove past a small abandoned house on the outskirts, I heard strange, eerie sounds coming from it. Approaching closer, I caught a whiff of decay and saw strange shadows through a broken window. I entered the house, and the silence was ominous. In the corner, I noticed an antique mirror covered in dust. When I looked into it, instead of my reflection, I saw black eyes pulling me towards them. Everything around me darkened, and I found myself in a cold place, surrounded by strange figures whispering something. Suddenly, I heard a voice. "Wake up, Sheriff Labrador!" I opened my eyes and saw an old man with terror-filled eyes. "You've seen them, haven't you?" he whispered. "They're waiting." The old man disappeared and I ran out of the house, not looking back. Now, passing by, I always feel someone's gaze on me. Those creatures are still there, and they're waiting for their moment.
Wow, that's an interesting story, but I doubt you just came up with it. Look, we're where the prisoners communicate with their families. We need to get into the ventilation. Oh, this is the room of that chubby guy. Let's borrow the ladder from him. Seems like we have a problem. The ladder doesn't fit through the door frame.
This situation reminds me of when you got stuck in the locker in the school locker room. We even had to call the firefighters.
One night, I was patrolling a school with my colleagues. There were rumors that students had been disappearing from this school, so we were asked to keep an eye on it. At first, everything seemed fine, and we were even annoyed at spending time on what we thought were childish fantasies. But then our opinion changed. When night fell, the school turned into a place filled with mystery and fear, rustling sounds, things falling, strange flickering shadows. All of it made us nervous. We felt like someone was constantly watching us. Sometimes, it seemed like we saw human figures before our eyes and even heard whispers in the dark. As we passed by the chemistry lab, we heard a loud bubbling sound coming from inside. We exchanged looks, and I was the first to burst in. Inside it was empty, but the air was filled with a coldness, as if something sinister had reached us. For a moment, I saw something strange in the corner of the room, but when we got closer, it was just an old, empty chair. We continued our patrol, but every time we turned around, it felt like someone was watching us from the shadows. The further we went, the more we were gripped by fear. Finally, we reached the administrative wing. As we approached the door, we heard a faint but distinct whisper. It was enough to make our furs stand on end. We looked at each other and decided we had enough. We ran to the exit, the light outside filling us with relief. In the morning, when the sheriff asked us about our patrol, we told him everything. He smiled and didn't believe us.
Dobie, that's a really scary story. I hope you didn't wet your pants when you entered the chemistry lab. Do you remember this story? I, Sheriff Labrador, immediately realized the situation was serious. Together with my loyal partner Dobie, we rushed to the scene. When we arrived at the bank, chaos reigned on the streets. People were running out of the building, holding their noses and coughing. It quickly became clear that skunk robbers had broken into the bank. They used their natural weapon, an incredibly foul smell, to paralyze everyone inside. Dobie and I knew we had to act quickly. We were given gas masks so we could enter without risking our health. Putting on the masks, we entered the building. The stench was unbearable, but our gas masks helped us manage it. As we passed through the main hall, we saw two skunks rummaging through the safes. Using his skills, Dobie quickly coordinated our actions. We approached them from both sides, sneaking up to catch them off guard. The skunks, engrossed in their work, didn't notice us until the last moment. Dobie and I simultaneously pounced on them, pinning them to the floor. The struggle was brief, and soon the skunks were securely handcuffed. We led them out of the bank, and the people on the street greeted us with applause.
Of course, I remember that. It's impossible to forget something like that. I still get goosebumps. Well, while you were telling your story, we took down one of the main bosses, the chef of this prison. Up ahead, the final boss awaits us, the belly guy. You've inspired me to share another one of our stories together. I, Sheriff Dobie, and my loyal partner Labrador were in the office when we received a distressing call. On the phone was a crying little girl who claimed that her house was haunted. We couldn't leave her in trouble and immediately headed to the scene. When we arrived, we were greeted by a frightened girl named Susie. She explained that she had been seeing a ghost in her room for several nights. Susie said that the ghost had been especially active last night and even tried to grab her. We entered the house and began our investigation. Suddenly, a ghost appeared before us, barely visible and transparent. We didn't know how to handle it, but then Labrador remembered the bucket of paint we had in the car. An idea came to us. We took the bucket of paint and carefully approached the ghost. Labrador distracted it, pretending to try and catch it, while I, Sheriff Dobie, climbed the stairs holding the bucket of paint. At the right moment, I poured the paint on the ghost. The paint coated it, making it visible. Now we could see the ghost. It was a person covered with a sheet, trying to scare the girl. We saw his hands and quickly handcuffed him. It turned out to be a neighborhood boy who decided to prank Susie, but his joke had gone too far.
It's a great story, Dobie. It seems we're about to come face to face with the main boss. And here is the booth. Very spacious. Let's punch him in the face with fruit.
It looks like to defeat him, we need to shoot at his weapons, those miniguns on his arms. Come on, Sheriff Labrador. We can do this.
Yes, I got that, Dobie, thanks. Could you then give me a weapon as powerful as his? I wouldn't mind having a suit like his either. It would be useful for arresting criminals. We recently got a call about an attack by a giant dumb robot at our station. Hey, you dumb tin can, what are you going to do to us in your suit? If you take off the suit, you're just a regular smelly fat guy.
Come on. While we're killing him, I'll tell you another story. One evening, I was sitting in my office when the phone rang. On the other end was an unfamiliar voice claiming to be a bank employee. He informed me that my bank card had been compromised and that I urgently needed to provide my personal information to protect my funds. Something about his voice and manner immediately raised my suspicions. I decided to play along to gather more information. I pretended to be scared and ready to provide the information he requested. While I was talking to him, my paws quickly dialed the bank's number on another phone, and I learned that there were no issues with my account. Keeping my composure, I started asking him questions to get more details. He didn't know that I was already tracing the call. Soon, I discovered that the call was coming from an abandoned warehouse on the outskirts of town. Realizing that the scammer was using standard tricks, I continued to stall, giving my team time to prepare. We quickly assembled a team and headed to the specified location. When we arrived, I saw a man sitting at a table with a phone and a laptop. He was so engrossed in his scam that he didn't even notice us entering. I approached him and said, "Hello, buddy. Were you calling Dobie?" He jumped up, his face turning pale. He tried to flee, but my team quickly restrained him. At the scene, we found numerous records with personal information of other people he had also tried to scam.
Thanks to everyone who watched. The belly guy got fired and we became guards at this prison. Goodbye, everyone!